for the goal kick, and they will see it out for the 3 points. A huge 3 points for Dundee United. They are right in the hunt for the European places. For Hearts, their battle to confirm themselves as a top 6 side goes to the final day before the split and a trip to Motherwell. The final score, the match winner Sam Dolby, Heart of Midlothian 0, Dundee United 1.
Thanks to Rory and to Michael, and congratulations to Dundee United. They have taken all 3 points with victory here at Tynecastle, and back-to-back wins here in Gorgie for the first time in 13 years in the league. Well, Alan and Charlie watched that game alongside me. Overall, was that a fair result for you? I mean, Hearts will be kicking themselves with the chances they missed first half.
Yeah, first half Hearts had much the better of the play and should have been ahead by 1 or 2. The sending off kind of changes the game, although I thought Hearts done all right with it. Considering they were down to 10 men, I thought Dundee United would have dominated a lot more. But they go and get the victory, and it was a measured sort of organised performance for Dundee United.
And Jim Goodwin, he changed things, didn't he, on the hour mark, and it actually had a really big impact on the way the game unfolded.
Yeah, he went back to a back four that we've seen them play recently as well, but I think he wanted to go and get the victory, he wanted the 3 points, so he made a few attacking changes and it really worked out. It was a great goal. I mean, Middleton comes on and gets involved, but Dolby with the header, it was an unbelievable finish from him. It was really difficult to execute. So Jim Goodwin will be over the moon with this, but from a Hearts point of view, it's really nervy now going into that game against Motherwell, and it's hanging in the balance for them.
It certainly is. We spoke about it pre-match, just how much Hearts would have wanted to get the job done today, but ultimately it's Dundee United that have got the victory. And I mean, what a signing Sam Dolby has proved to be. 14 goals now for the season, and as Alan said, a goal of the highest quality.
Yeah, I think Jim Goodwin wouldn't even his wildest dreams thought that Dolby would have produced this sort of season. Again, another cross for Dundee United. We've spoken about it many times this season, that it's not a coincidence. They put balls in the box, they train for it, and he's in there. You need somebody in there that's willing to go and attack it in there, and he did that again, and it's probably the reason why they're in the position they are in. He's a huge part in that.
You see the Dundee United fans, they're thoroughly enjoying themselves here in the Scottish capital, in the sunshine, just applauding their players. This is not an easy place to come, is it, as an away player? But fair play and full credit to them.
No, and I think if you look at the situation Dundee United were in, they had already secured top 6, so they could have come here with a mindset that we don't really need to win here. It's about what Hearts do, but no, they turned up, they gave a good performance, they bided their time, and as Charlie's saying there, they know how they want to play. If you have good deliveries into the box and Dolby's on fire the way he is, you're going to get the goal. So, but another really good performance from them, back-to-back wins, and it's all over to Hearts now. Can they handle the last game before the split?
This is a hard place to come here and win a game the way Dundee United did. I mean, to go down for Hearts to be down to 10 men, you would think they would have loads of the ball and be attacking them, but they were very measured in how they done it, and they've done what they've done all season. They've nicked a 1-0 and deserved it.
And it's that man on your screen, Sam Dolby, who got the winner. And this is how the Premiership table looks now after the latest round of fixtures. So Dundee United have put themselves in a great position, still very much within touching distance of those European places. But as you can see there, Hearts, St Mirren and Motherwell all within a chance of finishing in the top 6. So it all comes down to next week. It's an exciting finish here in the Scottish Premiership. Here, though, it is all about Dundee United and this moment. Middleton's cross, Sam Dolby finishing for the 14th time this season. 3 points for Dundee United. Reaction and more analysis is next. And we can now hear from the match winner and the captain, Ross Docherty. They're with Connie McLaughlin.
Guys, congratulations. Another important 3 points. First and foremost, Ross, what does that do in terms of momentum building for Dundee United?
It's good. We're obviously in a bit of a poor run before the last 2 games, but to come away from home and get points at any stage in this league is really good. And obviously we've come here and beat them for a second time, so it's brilliant. What's changed, Sam?
We work hard all season. We've got a good away record throughout the whole season. So, it's just a matter of coming here and playing to our best. And thankfully that got us the 3 points today.
A word for this guy and his contribution this season. Just how integral has he been?
He's been brilliant. Obviously, first couple of games, he kind of waited to get his chance. And then I could see his quality as soon as he came in training. But he's been brilliant for us. We know you put balls in the box. He's big slab pedo go and get on the end of it. But some of his finishing and some of his headers have been different class from kind of little chances at times. So he's been brilliant for us.
Talk us through that goal, Sam, if you will, because the manager changed shape a little bit. Did that help?
Yeah, obviously seeing Trapper and Glenn coming on, you know there's going to be balls in the box. They're going to go out there, man, beat them and put balls in the box. And I've kind of thought it was a matter of time before I got in the end of one.
We know that going down to 10 men for the other team sometimes can be difficult to play against. Did you get the sense that you were going to have to sort of change things as you were going along?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, they probably had the better of us until they got down to 10 men. But obviously we had to manage the game when we get the goal. They kind of fling bodies on. They've obviously got to try and close the gap now on us. So it was managing the game. I thought we'd done really well. They never had a lot of chances once we went a goal ahead. So can be proud of everyone and especially kind of the team as a whole.
We know that Luca went down. How is he? Have you guys seen him? He seemed to be sort of all right for the rest of the match.
Yeah, he came in at half time, and I didn't really see much of the challenge, to be honest. But he came in with blood marks all over his socks, so it must have been a bad one.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the talk on social media is the fact he was grabbing the wrong leg as he was going down.
I'm saying nothing about that. It was me who gave him the short pass, so I'm probably happy enough that the guy gets sent off. But hopefully he's all right.
Well, congratulations. This, as you know, takes you closer to those European places. And Sam, you are the player of the match. Will you do the honours for me, Ross?
Cheers, Doc, mate. Appreciate that.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
It's a really important point, that, isn't it? The game management, because when you do go down to face a team that have had a player sent off, it can actually sometimes be more difficult. They put everyone behind the ball. Hearts obviously had to win the game today, but still, that game management and adapting to what the opposition throw at you, it's not always easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I think you have to stick to your beliefs as well. And Jim Goodwin did change the formation and the attack. They got different options on the pitch, which was really good for them. But it can be difficult against 10 men, especially when they just sit back. But you felt Hearts needing to win, they were going to come out even more.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jim Goodwin is actually standing by to talk to us now, so let's get his thoughts, because he now is in with Connie.
Thank you very much for that, Emma. Jim, congratulations. We asked you before this match whether or not the players, there's the potential for them to put the tools down. They certainly didn't do that. Were you pleased with what you saw out there?
Listen, we've definitely performed better throughout the course of the season. It was a game of very few chances. There was a few dangerous attacks from both teams, but neither keeper really being overly tested. I thought the game was very much in the balance, as it has been in the previous two fixtures. We won the previous fixture here and early on in part of the season. Hearts beat us at Tynecastle most recently. I knew it was going to be a game, decided on who defends the best in both boxes, and thankfully we did. Another clean sheet, back-to-back clean sheets for us. Disappointed a little bit in terms of how we managed the game in the second half, especially when we go to goal up. We've got the extra man on there and we need to look after the ball a little bit better. We actually tried to bring on some good technical midfielders, the likes of Sibbald and Babunski in there alongside Docherty, and I don't think we managed it well enough, but at the same time I cannot be too critical of the players. It's about getting the results at the end of this time of the season. Spoke to you before the game about trying to continue to apply the pressure to Hibs and Aberdeen above us, and we've done that today.
You spoke there about having that extra man. What was your take on the sending off and against? How is Luca?
I never like to see any player getting sent off. I don't think the young lad meant it by any stretch, but it looked as if he was a little bit fast in the tackle, a little bit out of control. I think that's probably the decision that the referee has came to. Luca has got stud marks down the front of his shin. Just glad he wasn't, seriously injured and could play on. But we don't hold any. Don't hold the boy responsible. I think it's a genuine attempt to play the ball. He's a really good young prospect, and he's got a good future ahead of him.
You can put that to bed for us then, because a lot of the people on social media, the guys in the studio, have been talking about the fact that when he went down, he was holding the other leg from the leg it appeared that he was challenged on. But you're saying he's got stud marks there. Yeah,
he has got marks. He's not the brightest, so it might boil down to that. Doesn't know his left from his right, but he certainly has got marks on his leg, Connie. I can assure you that.
Good job he's not standing just behind us. Look at how you're doing. On that note, and I guess the way you have to change things, which you did, you went to that 4-3-3, and it seemed to make an impact to the players you brought on, and also then opens up the opportunity for Sam Dalby to do what he does best.
I didn't want to be making wholesale changes during the game, but obviously when they go down to 10 men, we don't need 3 men at the back. Felt a little bit sorry for Sam Harding coming off. He got the nod during the warm-up when Ross Graham pulled out. He certainly didn't come off because of his performance. I thought he was outstanding. You know, kept a clean sheet while he was on there, done the basics really well. So he'll be disappointed, but at the same time he'll be really pleased with the minutes that he's got today. But yeah, look, we're just delighted that we could keep that clean sheet, Connie. You know, today it's all about the result. It's a really difficult away fixture, especially with what Hearts are playing for. You know, they're still fighting for that top 6, and I've managed to do my old club, St Mirren, a slight turn as well today. So pleased for them that they're still in the hunt. Stephen Robinson's done a terrific job there, and it's really, really interesting, the whole league. You know, there's a lot to play for at the top end, there's a lot to play in the middle, and of course that, you know, result there today at McDiarmid Park really makes it exciting at the bottom end as well.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much.
I think Jim Goodwin summed it up there. There's still so much to play for with one game before the split, and that's you two being chucked under the bus.
It's amazing how we get the blame for it. We didn't even bring it up about rolling about and holding another leg. But
if anything, we backed the lad and Connie just threw us right under the bus there. So I hope Jim knows we never said that about his player.
It's Michael that said it, just to put the record straight. So we've just chucked him under the bus as well. No, good to know that Lucas Stevenson is not seriously injured and that he, you know, obviously he managed to walk away from that tackle there. But again, you know, you look at the goal, we talked about it. Sam Dalby has had such an impact in the side since coming up on loan from Wrexham this season. And you know, we said earlier, Jim Goodwin changed it after an hour. He brought on the likes of Glenn Middleton, and I mean, in this ball in, it's perfect, and the finish exquisite.
Yeah, it's a really good ball in from him. Well, look, it's probably trying to hit the back post more than like drop it short, but I think Dalby makes the best out of it by getting down low, using his neck muscles to guide it into the far corner. This is the only thing for me when you are trying to put good balls into the box, because Glenn Middleton will always want to come back on to his favoured foot. So sometimes it's good if you can just go down the line and put it in, but look, it's worked here. Yeah, great overlap here. Takes the defender away, kind of takes him down one side, allows the space to come inside, and he's played that short. I'll admit that he's kind of, but Dalby to get across the front of the man, he's left the space for him to come into, so he peels away a wee bit, a slight yard, gets across the defender, and what a header that is, just to guide it in the far corner. He's done a lot of work there. It's a great header, but that's been the story of their season. I mean, the ball's in the box, as I said, small-sided games when Jim Goodwin takes them, he always encourages the boys on the side that they need to cross it when they get it, so it's always, with everything he does, it's about getting balls in the box and making the other team defend, so there's no coincidence.
No coincidence there, and I know it's always the goal scorers that tend to grab the headlines, but you actually were just applauding the likes of Declan Gallagher and even young Sam Harding, who started that game for the defensive clean sheet again.
I thought Sam was man of the match, personally.
Still sticking with that?
You've just called out about 4 names a minute ago.
I'm doubling down here. Okay. Declan Gallagher was brilliant for me as well, and I think that the way they managed the game and defended the box, especially in the end of the first half, start of the second half, I thought they were both really good. We spoke about it though, didn't we, at the start of the programme? What was it, 40 goals have conceded, something like that, and you can see why, because they're very comfortable in their shape defending the box. If it's coming in, they're quite happy to go and deal with it, and that's why they're getting like man of the match performances.
Yeah, well, we've also been hearing just about how Hearts went down to 10 men. Let's show you the incident once again then, and it was young James Wilson who was the one stretching for the ball with a tackle on Lucas Stevenson. And again, when you look at why red cards are given, this does really tick a lot of the boxes when you put it on paper.
Yeah, look, I feel for him, because I don't think for one moment that he's went in to try and hurt somebody. That's not what he's done. I think as he's sliding, his leg's just coming up, and it's where it catches him. It's the height of it. I actually feel that at one angle you can see him kind of pulling out. He's not went in with an absolute straight leg, so he understands the situation though, and when you're that high and it's forceful, there's an opportunity for you. You can see why he thinks he can get it. It's a short pass for Docherty, so he sort of teases him to go for it. If the pass had been firm, he wouldn't have had time to get there, but he sort of thinks he can get there, goes with pace, but when you go with that much pace, you can't put your studs up that high.
Yeah, and you give the referee a decision to make, don't you? And that's the key point here.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to say. It's now down to the referee how he looks at it. And I don't think, once he'd made the decision, I didn't think it would be turned over. But it's a shame, because I'm the same as everybody. You want 11v11. You don't want to see him going off. But unfortunately, he'll learn from it. It'll probably not happen again, but it's just a little bit high.
Yeah, so a steep learning curve for today for James Wilson. That was the young Hearts player who gets sent off. And a disappointing day for the Jambos, because no points on the board and a very frustrated Neil Critchley. We'll be hearing from him after this.
Commiserations, Neil, not the result you would have hoped for, but it's still in your hands.
Yeah, that's a positive. It's a difficult one to take because I thought we were a better team with 11 and arguably with 10 men as well. We created more chances, had more opportunities. We should have been leading the game before the red card, and we've given Dalby one chance and he scored from it. I don't think they've really had another opportunity in the game, so I'm really disappointed with the result, but the players gave everything. They went right to the end and showed great spirit.
What was your take on the sending off?
I thought it was mistimed. I thought it was a bit of a naive challenge. Yeah, I think there's a natural follow through when you go to ground, and James is probably slightly late and a bit high, so he'll learn from that.
In terms of the complexion of the game, how did that change things for you in terms of what you were trying to do?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, when you're down to 10 men for a significant period of the game, then of course it changes what we were trying to do. We were by far the better team until that point. We've been well on top, created lots of opportunities, and we weren't good enough in front of the goal in the final third. We created numerous moments, and when you've got to attack and defend with one man less, then it becomes even more difficult. But in the second half, I don't think you could tell that they had 11 and we had 10. I thought it was an even game.
It's always easier on reflection, but looking back, would you maybe have brought on Lawrence a wee bit earlier?
No, because granted he was still having an effect on the game, and you have to get the timing right of those. Of course, it's hindsight, and until they scored, I didn't feel like we were in any danger really, and if anything, we still looked likely to score. So, no, as soon as it happened, he was actually warming up before they scored. We were going to bring him on anyway. So, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Motherwell now becomes a cup final.
Yes, that is. Yes. It is. It's in our hands. We'll know what we need to do. But I say we're disappointed, obviously, with the result because we've missed an opportunity today. But it's still in our hands, and we have to go there and get the right result that keeps us in the top 6. And that's all we can do. Prepare properly, get ready, and if we play with the same spirit, the same effort, with a little bit more quality, then we'll be fine.
Just a final point before we let you go. At half-time, there was sort of a little bit of remonstration with the referee. What can you tell us what that was about, and what was your sort of thinking behind that? Was that just down to the sending off before you'd seen it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, a little bit heated. I felt there was a few other decisions as well that were not refereed in the right manner. All the decisions given correctly, but that can happen. That's heated. I lost my frustration, or I was frustration, bit of temper, but that can happen. I apologise to him, and we carry on.
Appreciate your time, thanks.
No problem, thank you.
He cut a very frustrated figure, didn't he, Neil Critchley, at half-time? But, what do you think he means by that? Some decisions weren't refereed in the right manner.
Well, I thought, me and Charlie were speaking about it, it was very stop-start. There was lots of fouls instead of just letting the game flow and run on and things like that. So he's probably disappointed with that. I mean, he'll be frustrated with the red card, but when he sees it back, I think he'll understand, and he summed it up perfectly for me. It was just a little bit naive, and he'll learn from it, so it's not a problem there. But I think just overall, when you look at the 90-plus minutes, there was a lot of stoppages, I felt.
Fair play to him for being honest there and coming out and basically saying it's probably the right decision, and the young lad will learn from it. But I think the most frustration would have been the sending off at the time. Heated, he's thinking it's not a sending off.
And injustice at the time, yeah.
Injustice. I think that's what the main thing was. And then sometimes you maybe think of one or two other ones and you think they're completely hard done by. But the sending off was the right decision. He's obviously went back and looked at it and saw that. And I was really surprised there that he came out and did say that the young lad will learn from it. Basically admitted it was a sending off.
Yeah, this is just.
But it's great. It's great honesty from him, because it's definitely is, and he said he apologised to the referee. So
I still stick with it. He's not trying to hurt him.
No.
It's naive. It's exactly that. It's just a little bit misjudged. And as he's went to ground, his legs come up, and he's caught Lucas Stevenson high for me, and that's why it has been given. Look, I don't think there was a huge amount of force, even though it looks a little bit reckless. But if you see the reaction on the floor, and that's what we're talking about. Lucas Stevenson, he's having a wee look and different things. I don't think it's always going to be really sore. It's just the height of the challenge.
So it now comes down to next weekend for Hearts. Can they do it? Can they beat Motherwell away?
of course they can, aye.
You like getting off the fence? You're going to give us a result, or
3-1
a man of the match or something?
A man of the match and a scoreline.
It's going to be a great game. Two teams fighting for it. So
yeah.
I think Andy Halliday will get man of the match. It'll be 3-1 to Hal.
There you go. Right, thank you very much for your company. It's a pleasure as always. So much still to play for next weekend. We will see you from Easter Road on Sunday. But today, it's all about Dundee United. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.